in a time before memory, when stars were young and shadows stretched endlessly across an unformed world, there existed beings who whispered secrets to the void. These were no ordinary creatures. They were the firstborn, entities forged from raw essence: fire, stone, water, wind, and shadow. They spoke in tongues unknown even to themselves, their voices resonating like echoes of creation itself. Among them lay artifacts older than time, the rings of power, and these rings would shape not only their destinies, but also the fate of all that was yet to come. This is the tale of how it began, a story buried beneath layers of myth, hidden in ruins, swallowed by earth and forgotten by history. This is the ancestors of the ring. Long before Middle-earth rose from chaos into form, the cosmos teemed with primal forces. From this primordial soup emerged 5 great races, stone-born, bound together by threads of cosmic energy. They lived in harmony until the arrival of the Eldritch Artificer, a being neither mortal nor divine, whose purpose seemed woven into the fabric of reality itself. The Artificer crafted 6 rings not as gifts, but as experiments. Each bore inscriptions in languages none could decipher, glowing faintly with hues of gold, sapphire, emerald, ruby, obsidian, and silver. The rings pulsed with life, whispering promises of dominion over elements, mastery over time, and immortality beyond death. But the Artificer vanished without explanation, leaving behind only silence and uncertainty. Thus began the Age of Trialsa, period marked by greed, betrayal, and discovery. It is here our story unfolds, deep within the volcanic heartlands of Pyroskar, where molten rivers carved pathways through jagged mountains. Their skin shimmered like molten lava, veins glowing faintly beneath translucent flesh, eyes burned with eternal flame, casting eerie light on faces etched with ancient wisdom. Among them stood Kelthar, a warrior priest adorned with armor forged from cooled magma. His hair blazed perpetually like wildfire, and his voice carried the crackle of burning timber. Unlike others of his kind, Kelthar distrusted the ring given to his people, a fiery band encrusted with rubies that danced like embers. He believed its whispers came not from divinity but from something darker. One fateful night, under skies painted crimson by ash clouds, the ring flared violently. Shadows coiled around Kelthar's hands as he held it aloft, and visions flooded his mind. Cities reduced to cinders, oceans boiling away, and a monstrous figure wreathed in flame laughing amidst ruin. Horrified, he fled Pyroskar, vowing to destroy the artifact before it consumed everything. Far below the surface, in caverns carved by titanic roots of crystal trees, resided their bodies were chiseled from living rock, eyes glittering with embedded gemstones. They communicated through deep rumbles and grinding sounds, their language echoing like avalanches. Chief among them was Grimna, Stonevine, a towering figure whose chest bore veins of luminous quartz. Grimna had been chosen to guard the second ring, an obsidian loop studded with black diamonds. Though revered as a leader, she harbored doubts about the ring's intentions. When touched, it caused tremors that shook entire chambers, releasing strange vapors that made her kin hallucinate. Determined to uncover its secrets, Grimna ventured upward towards Sunlighter. There, amid forests of petrified wood, she encountered Kelthar, both wary yet desperate for answers. They formed an uneasy alliance. Together, they realized the rings were connected, resonating with each other whenever brought near. Beneath endless seas thrived the Tylords, amphibious beings with shimmering scales and bioluminescent markings. Their songs rippled through currents, guiding schools of fish and calming storms alike. The ring entrusted to them gleamed like liquid moonlight, its surface swirling with patterns resembling ocean waves. Its bearer, Lacelle Wavecrest, possessed hair that flowed like seaweed and eyes reflecting every hue of the tide. She was both revered and feared, for the ring amplified her powers but at a cost. With each use, it drained vitality from marine life, leaving reefs barren and waters stagnant. When Kelthar and Grimna sought her aid, Lysel hesitated. Yet visions of desolate oceans haunted her dreams, compelling her to join their quest. As they traveled deeper into uncharted waters, the trio discovered ruins hinting at the Artificer Esoregion symbols etched into coral spires, depicting a figure cloaked in starlight. High above the world soared the Skyweavers, ethereal beings composed of mist and light. Their wings shimmered like prisms, scattering rainbows wherever they flew. Their leader, Zephora Winson, bore the Sapphire Ring, which allowed her to manipulate winds and summon tempests. However, prolonged use fractured her mind, filling it with whispers, urging her to dominate the skies. Her once clear voice now wavered between melody and madness. When the trio ascended to meet her atop floating islands suspended in Cloudbank, Sephora attacked, believing them spies sent by the Artificer. Only after witnessing the harmony between their rings did she relent. Reluctantly, she joined their cause, warning of a looming storm gathering beyond the horizon, a sign of impending doom. In realms untouched by light dwelled the Umbralan, shrouded figures whose forms shifted like smoke. Their eyes glowed faintly, twin pinpricks of violet piercing the gloom. The final ring, a band of purest silver, rested in the possession of Nixon, a seer cursed with foresight of tragedy. Every glimpse of the future left him racked with pain, yet he clung to the ring, believing it held answers to breaking the curse. Upon meeting the others, Nixon revealed a chilling prophecy. 5 will unite, yet unity shall falter. 1 will fall, and another rise to claim dominion over all. Despite his cryptic words, the group pressed onward, driven by desperation. At last, guided by fragments of lore and visions shared via the rings, the companions reached the Nexus, a dimension existing outside time and space. Here awaited the Artificer, revealed to be a fragment of existence itself, seeking to merge with the rings to achieve omnipotence. A fierce battle ensued, testing the limits of each character's resolve. In the end, Kelthar sacrificed himself to shatter the ruby ring, severing the Artificer's connection to fire. Inspired by his bravery, the others followed suit, destroying their respective rings despite the agony it caused. With the rings undone, the Nexus collapsed, scattering the survivors back to their homelands. Though victorious, they knew the scars left behind would linger forever. Centuries later, fragments of the shattered rings would sparking legends that inspired tales such as those of Sauron and his One Ring. But few remembered the true origins of the artifacts, the sacrifices made by the ancestors who first wielded them. And so, the cycle of power and corruption continued, destined to repeat until the end of days.